Hi, welcome to the very first app review of this channel. My name is Mary Washeke. Before we get to the app review, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in a place where you desperately needed to speak to a mental health professional, but you were not able to? Or maybe even are you in that place right now? Do you know of a person who could use the help of a mental health expert, but they're not able to do that? Maybe because of cultural reasons or financial reasons. Well, I have been there, and I know how difficult, how hard it is to need help, to desperately need help, but not be able to access it. And especially when it is for reasons that are outside your control. Today, in this episode, you will get a free mental health app review that I have been using for the better part of this year when I could not access a therapist. I strongly believe in this app. I do believe that it has the capacity to help you navigate your mental well-being way better. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. The app is called Neurocycle App, claimed to be the first scientifically tested brain detoxifying app. I'll tell you, it does do the brain detoxification. The way that this review is going to be is we'll look into the creator, the science behind the app, the content of the app. How do you use the app? What free resources are in the app because the app is a paid app? And then finally, I will give you my personal opinion on the app. The creator, her name is Dr. Caroline Leaf, and she is a neuroscientist and a mental health expert and has been for more than 20 years. She's authored multiple books in the field of mind, brain, and body connection and the nature of mental health. She's also a host of Clean Up Your Mental podcast, which is where I discovered her. She's on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. She has a website and blogs. She is all over the place, readily accessible. Now, let's look into the science of the app. The app is based around the knowledge that the brain is constantly rewiring itself with or without our permission. I'll explain that. See, when you are learning a new skill, maybe a second language, the brain will rewire itself to make adjustments for this new knowledge that you're learning. When you have been exposed to addictive substances, the brain will rewire itself to make room for this substance that is being taken in all the time. The brain is constantly rewiring itself. And so the app assumes that if that is the case, well, we can take part in the rewiring process. We can be in charge of how our brain turns out. The other thing is that the app recognizes that emotions are messengers. They just come bearing information from our subconscious brain. We can dig deeper into the emotions and find what they're saying, and in so doing, we will increase our self-awareness. That is the science of the app. We can change our brain. We can help change it. Now, let's look into the content. The whole premise of the app is that the brain is constantly rewiring itself. And so what tools have been made available for this? First is a guided neurocycle, a 21 days guided neurocycle. Now, I'll explain what a neurocycle is. Neurocycling is the process by which we help rewire the brain. That is basically what it is. And so for 21 days, Dr. Leaf is guiding you, is talking, is giving you questions, explaining to you what's going on for 21 days as you go through the rewiring process of the brain. Now, why 21 days? She explains that it takes 63 days to change a habit. It takes 21 days to understand, to dig deeper, to completely understand and unravel the habit that you're trying to change for 21 days. And so for those 21 days, she will be there explaining to you what is going on in your brain and helping you with questions that will help you dig deeper. The rest of the days, there is a prompt. The app has a notification. It brings up a notification of something that you're supposed to do once a day for the rest of the remainder of the 63 days. Now, the other mind rewiring tool is mini neurocycles. As opposed to the 21 days, the mini neurocycles are about 16 to 17 minutes long, and she has some on overthinking, how to help children. She has some on an array of topics: people pleasing, perfectionism, all of those things, anxiety. And for 17 minutes, she will guide you with deep questions, very meaningful questions that will help you understand what it is that is going on with you. And then after that, you may choose, oh, well, this is something that actually I would love to change. And so you can start the 21 days journey. All right. Now, what other mind management tools are available? On top of the brain rewiring, you also get to understand how you can manage your mind and take control of your mind and not your mind take control over you. First tool is a mind management skill. She has a skill on which you can gauge yourself on a given number of days. How are you doing? How is your mental health in terms of autonomy, in terms of stress and anxiety, in terms of just on so many things? How are you doing? And you get to gauge yourself from a scale of like 0 to 10. You can track this for a few days, and then just you're able to see, how am I actually doing? Or how was this last month? The other tool is the mind decompression tips. Now, sometimes when we are in the heat of things, we are out of control. When we are super emotionally charged, we need something to decompress. We need tools and tips on how we can bring ourselves back to a normal place where we can then look into whatever is going on with more clarity and have cleared the fog. So she provides tips like that: breathing exercises, gratitude statements, exercises that you can do to clear out the fog before actually dealing with the task at hand. Those two mind management tools will be available in the app. Now, how does the app work? And specifically, how do you rewire your brain? Well, she does that in 5 steps of neurocycling. First is you gather information. You do a reflection on the information you have gathered. And then you start writing. You recheck. And then there's an act of reach. Let's explain this deeper. In the gather awareness step, you gather awareness of your emotional and physical warning signals. And this is really important because it will help you even know yourself deeper. For instance, you might see when you're gathering awareness that I am feeling really, I am shaking, I am sweating, I am breathing heavy. Those might be the physical warning signals. Now, emotionally, you will be guided. There is an emotional list that can help you name what is going on. I am feeling anxious. I am feeling upset, really angry. She gives you a list where you can pinpoint what emotion it is that you're feeling. The second step, she asks you questions. She asks you questions of, why do you think this is going on? Why do you think you are behaving this way? Why do you think you are feeling this way? She asks questions. You get to answer those questions and then discuss them in your brain. Step 2. Now, step 3 is where we start writing. And this has to be the most important part that you do not want to miss. The exercise part is the very important part. You get to write. And in writing, she's asking you questions that will help you dig deeper, get into the subconscious brain. The first step, you're just looking into the conscious brain, what is readily available. Well, this is what I know, this is how I'm feeling. But then in the second step, and also the third step, she helps you now access the subconscious brain. Just look underneath what it is that you're feeling to access the information, what it is that the emotions are telling you. Step 4, she goes even deeper, a step deeper. Now, let's look into patterns. How long has this been going on? Why do you think you have this perspective? What is the perspective that made you react or behave in this way? She helps you get deeper, find the root cause of your behavior. And then she'll also help you to find ways in which you might want to now rewire, how you want you to behave next time, how you want to change your patterns. And then in step 5, there's the act of reach, which is a simple tool, an activity sometimes, an affirmation sometimes, something that will ground you on a more neutral emotional place or positive place, just more neutral out of the heated mess that was going on. So those are the 5 steps of the neurocycling. Gather awareness of your physical and emotional state, recheck where she asks you questions, write, reflect, and then act of reach. 5 stages. And in so doing, that is how we rewire our brain. Now, let's look into the free resources. I want to mention that this app is a paid app. You get to pay about $22 a month, USD a month, to use the 21 days. And I know that it is relatively, that can be expensive for some people. And I don't want you to be discouraged because of that. There's a ton of free resources that you'll find even just in the app. First resource is the wealth, the information that is there on brain, emotional, and mind management, vocabulary, and meaning, all these tools, being able to point out, being able to connect your behavior to something that is going on deeper within what you can see on the surface, knowing how your brain is affecting your mind, knowing how your brain is affecting and could also be changed, that in itself is gold. Just that information is gold, and that is freely available on the app. The other free resource is the short emotional de-escalation activities that we spoke about. To access those, you do not need to pay anything. You can just have free access and they will be helpful to you. And then the other important tool is the mini neurocycles. So for 21 days, if you are to be held to be guided for the 21 days, you will have to pay the $22. But the 16, 17-minute neurocycles, she gives them for free. How awesome is that? You get to be asked questions that can help you figure out what you're going through without even having to pay for the app. There's one more tool, and that is a writing skill that she has developed called a metacog. You will get to learn how you can journal better, and we'll talk about that next week, but how you can journal better to increase your awareness. All right. Now, let me tell you about my personal experience, my personal opinion on the app. First of all, I have used the app for pretty much the whole of this year. And I have finished 2 complete neurocycles. One neurocycle is 63 days. So I have looked into a thought for 63 days and then another one for 63 days. And throughout the 63 days, I'm telling you, it gets really difficult because you have gathered so much awareness of what's going on. Sometimes there's all these feelings that come up with. Sometimes you feel sorry for yourself. Other times you might feel guilty. Other times you might feel like you want to condemn yourself. There's just a wide range of emotions that come with knowing more about yourself before you can change. But she holds your hand. She explains to you what is going on. For example, on day 4, day 7, and day 21, they're called benchmark days. Those are the days where you just have the worst days, very emotionally, like just heavy days. Having her explain to you what is going on just gives you so much perspective and so much compassion for yourself. And that has got to be the best thing, in my opinion, of this app. Now, not to scare you, the heavy emotions do not last the whole time. By the time you're on your 63 days, in fact, by the time you're in your 21 days, you have so much clarity. You feel so empowered already to continue. And we'll talk more about that next week. The other thing is the depth of the questions she asks. Man, these questions are they have been curated by a person that already knows, she has all this background on mental health and the brain. And so she will help you get deeper and deeper and deeper with the questions as you proceed. And the best part of it is you're the one answering, you're the one in charge of the rewiring. She's not suggesting things. She's not telling you, she's asking you. Then you get deeper. She's asking, for example, how do you want to feel, for example? And then you get to decide. The questions are very purposeful, very thought out, and very helpful. Now, if I were to compare the app and therapy, I'd honestly say there's a place for both. I have been fortunate to have access to therapy twice in my life. And by two therapists, different lengths of time, but two different therapists. And there is something amazing about being heard, being listened to, being validated by a human being. There's something beautiful about maybe even being in the same room or on the phone or computer and just talking to a person, a real life person. That is one beautiful thing about therapy. Now, the app, I would say, is really maybe greater than therapy in many ways. First of all, it is readily available whenever you are, wherever you need it. You can just get it and use it. Unlike therapy, where you get to schedule, maybe you can only be seen once a week, or if you're lucky, or twice a week, or it's not as frequent, right? But the app, you can use it whenever you need it. The other great thing with the app is, while it's good to be listened to and for another person to listen to what you have to say, if you don't get a person that is a good listener, therapy can be a mess, because if they talk more than you talk, then it's not very helpful. But here she is just telling you, and then you get to dialogue with yourself. You get to discuss with yourself and then find solutions with yourself, by yourself. There's something beautiful about that. The last thing about the app that I will say is really important, honestly, is just the price point. Now, I know that $22 is not cheap for some people, and it actually is not cheap. It's just, it's not even some people, it's just money. And I know that can be expensive, but what's even more expensive is real life therapy. It's not $22 for a month for unlimited number of times you can use it. So if you can get the $22, I would highly suggest that you invest in it this way. And especially if you are not able to access therapy for whatever reason, get yourself this app. It's going to help you big time, just improve your mental well-being. Now, I hope this has been really helpful for you. And next week, I will get to show you with my personal journal how I have used the app to Neurocycle to regulate my emotions and to rewire my brain. Yep, you're gonna get access into my journal. Now, if you have found value in this review, in this channel, I'm gonna ask you to stay connected with me. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. In so doing, even if you forget to come and watch, the notification bell will just remind you that there's an upload. Go watch it. And then if you have found value in this channel and you would like for others to know, you can first of all like this video. When you like it, YouTube will tell people, oh, there's something nice, go check it out. And then you can also share the app, or you can also share the information using the share button just over there, and everybody will get access to it. Now, I hope this was helpful. I wish you all the best. I wish you great success in your mental health. I wish you grace, lots of grace when you're dealing with yourself, more compassion with yourself. And I will see you next time. In the meantime, take care of yourself.